Welcome to the practice today. We'll be working on a pose that's an arm balance called Astavakrasana. When I first was exposed to this pose, it seemed like there were so many pieces to it, so many ways to prepare for it, because it involves open hips, and it involves twisting so that the sides of the body are very long. It involves strength in the arms. It involves engagement of the abdominal muscles. It's really a lot of fun. So when I decided to really take this on as part of my practice, I remember feeling kind of smart and kind of cocky almost that I was able to do this. And it's just a nice way to evolve in your practice, to work on poses like this that are such a treat. And not only do you inspire yourself in your practice, but when other people see you doing these poses, they too get inspired. So take a comfortable seated position. When we inspire others through our actions, through our discipline to the practice, it gives us a certain energy and certainly the support of others to continue. That it's a way of ensuring that you will continue in the practice. You need these kind of boosts every once in a while in the practice, and these challenges to keep your mind attuned to going farther. With the eyes closed, go a little bit farther with your breath. See how the rhythm of the breath can give you some understanding of the spaciousness in the inner body. And now you can open your eyes and then take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Just come to an easy twist, and in this twist, press down through the left hand as you encourage the elongation of the spine. And then release and try the opposite side. Take the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Press down through the right hand just behind the buttocks. And then as you press down through the right fingertips, lift the side body and take the head of the right arm bone back to encourage the left ribs to lengthen very fully in this nice seated sukhasana pose. And then come back to center. Come to hands and knees and then to downward facing dog. Enjoy your breath here in downward facing dog. And feel free to move a little bit to get better acquainted with all the aspects of the pose here. Since we're working on an arm balance today, lift your shoulder blades very high in the downward facing dog. So in this lift of the shoulder blades, you engage the arms in just a slightly different way. So keep clawing the earth with the arm bones lifted. Come to a plank position. in the plank position. Continue that action with the arms, and now engage the legs even more by drawing in from the heels to the pelvis. And with the leg muscles so strong, just allow yourself to float slowly toward the earth. Come to Chaturanga Dandasana and continue the strong action of the legs, the lift of the shoulder blades, and then lower yourself down to the earth, and on the in-breath, lift slightly up to a cobra pose, and then come back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, reach your right leg straight back. And this time, lift the right foot high in the sky. And with the right foot high in the sky, lift the right pelvis even higher so that you can get a nice twist out of this three-legged dog. And then release the right foot back to the earth and take the left leg up. Bend the knee and lift the left hip high. Just find this freedom as you continue to work on the strength of the arms. And then release the right foot down. Enjoy your downward facing dog. And now step the right foot right between the hands. And let your left knee descend all the way to the earth. Take the hands to the top of the thigh. Close your eyes for a moment and just let your pelvis settle in toward the earth so that you get not only a nice thigh stretch on the left leg, but a little bit more of a hip opener. And then you can twist. Take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and take the hands in this prayer pose. Press firmly the hands in toward each other as you take the head of the right arm back. And then release your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog so that we can switch sides. Take the left foot forward, take the right knee down, take the hands to the top of the thigh, same thing. Let the pelvis be heavy and draw toward the earth. Keep the back leg strong, the back right toenails pressing into the earth so that your weight drifts and is spread through the whole length of the right leg rather than it's right on the right kneecap. When you're ready, take the right elbow to the outside of the leg. And if that's too much of a stretch for you, just find something that is modified that works for you today. Take the hands then in a prayer pose, press firmly down. So the more the hands are working toward each other, the more you'll notice that your right ribs can enter into the equation, can just really serve this twist very fully. And then release your hands down to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Now let's do another lunge. Let's do a high lunge this time. Take the right foot right between the hands. Keep the back knee lifted this time. The back heel lifted. Keep the left hand down to the earth and twist again, this time with the right arm extending up toward the sky. Press down through the left hand. Lift the left underside ribs. And then again, release and come back to downward facing dog. So again, we trade sides. Step the left foot right between the hands. Keep the right leg so strong. Press down through the right fingertip tops. And as you kind of press into the tip tops of the fingers, you get just a little bit more action out of the muscles in the palm. And then twist. Take the left arm straight up. Spread your fingers so that you can draw in from the fingertips all the way to the pelvis and then expand very fully from the pelvis down to the earth. And then release the hands. And then step the back leg forward. Take the hands at the hips, scoop the tailbone, and rise up. Stand in Tadasana for a moment. Just invite the breath to be very full. Now take the tops of your thighs back. So to encourage the thighs to drift back, take the palms of your hands on the tops of the thighs, just below the pant leg creases. Press the thighs way back and apart and bend the knees. Just continue this, hands pressing firmly down. On the in-breath, now reach your arms up, have the arms and the ears lined up. So come to Utkatasana, this very strong, active pose with the hands at least shoulder width apart. Just widen them even more so that you invite the fullness of the heart to encourage more fullness in the breath. Now soften, just draw the tailbone down just slightly more to engage the legs more. Good, press into the earth and rise up to Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, release the arms to the side to come to mountain pose, Tadasana. Now step the left leg back. And have the left foot parallel to the short edge of the mat, the right toes pointed toward the front edge of the mat, and then bend the right knee. Take the right elbow down to the top of the thigh. Take the head of the arm bone back on the left shoulder. Lift the left arm up, and then just stretch the arm over the head, palm facing down. The right hand is active. By spreading the fingers, you activate the arm. The left fingers are active, and now just soften even more. Today we're working on bringing that power into our poses. So see how you can engage your legs slightly more. We've worked on engaging the arms through spreading the fingers, and through that engagement from the periphery, from your toes and feet, from your hands, lift your underside ribs to come to just a slight refinement of the pose. And on the next inhale breath, press into the back leg and rise up and switch sides. Take the left knee or the left foot toward the opposite edge of the mat. Bend the knee. Take the left elbow down. Same thing. Just can dwell in this opportunity to refine your strength, refine your power in the pose before you come to the full pose. Take the head of the right arm bone back to lift the left underside ribs. Reach your right arm up when you're ready and come to this variation of parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Back leg remains so strongly rooted. And from the power of the back leg, you feel this incredible extension of the right side ribs. And then keep that sense of power in the back leg and inhale, rise up, lift yourself out of the pose. And step the feet together, once again coming to Tadasana at the front of the mat. Reach your arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Bend your knees. Take the tops of the thighs back, just like we were encouraging with the palms pressing the pant leg creases back at the tops of the thighs. Reach the tops of the thighs back even more this time as you bend the knees and come to even deeper expression, almost like the thighs are parallel to the earth so that we can open the hips slightly more as the arms reach powerfully forward. The breath stays very full. Press into the earth and then inhale, rise up out of the pose And then release your hands down. For this next pose, you might need a block. So I always love to use blocks because it just helps me get, especially in these standing poses, so much more length in my twists, so much more movement. So if you'd like to grab your block, do so now. And then take a wide stance on your mat. Take your right toes out. Take your block right by your right foot. First, come to Virabhadrasana number 2. Bend the right knee. Lift the arms, and then have the right hand come down to the block. So the block, I even like the block at its highest form when I'm working on this pose. Take your left hand to the pelvis. Draw the tops of the thighs back, just like we did in Utkatasana. Scoop your tailbone. Lift the underside ribs up. Take the head of the arm bone back. And with strength in the back leg, hug the feet in toward each other in this isometric way so that you engage the inner thighs. And with the left arm lifted, reach it now over the head. So you come to the same form of the pose on the left side body. You get this incredible length, and through pressing into the block, you can get even more lift of the underside. And when you refine poses in this way, it has a way of just kind of giving you so much strength in the practice. So much strength as you come off the mat and go to your everyday activities. And then press into the back leg, inhale, and rise up. And release your hands and step the left foot forward. Take the right foot back. And once again, inhale, lift your arms up. Invite the breath to become so expansive in Virabhadrasana 2 as you bend the left knee. And then as you're ready, you can take the left hand down to the block, press firmly into the block. I like just starting with my right hand to the pelvic point or to the waistband so that I can just refine and get more power, more lift of the underside ribs. Take the right arm up. And then as you're ready, with the back leg so strong and rooted, get even more extension by reaching the right arm over the head. Palm is facing down. Fingers are active and engaged. The left hand is pressing into the earth so fully that it allows the left thigh to open more, the left hip to open as you soften the left thigh down toward the earth. Very nice, very nice. And then press into the back leg. Inhale, rise up out of the pose. Now set the feet together at the front of the mat. Not together, but maybe hip distance apart. I think for most of us that works the best. And then bend the knees and come all the way down to a squat. Let's just kind of take a break here in the action. You can lift the heels, reach the hands forward, release the head down. So in this squat pose, in this variation of malasana that we're doing, see how you can press each of the toes down. So a lot of times more weight comes to the baby toe side. So press down, especially through the base of the big toe. And you'll see that activates a different part of the upper inner thigh. And see as you take the knees wide, if you can just soften your heart even more. Let your jaw release, let your head release. So as you soften in this pose, there's not that much space for your belly. So you start to feel the back body so fully here. The kidneys become so expansive. Two more breaths in this pose. Now place the hands firmly down and come back to downward facing dog. All that fullness that we got in the back body and malasana, the pose we just did, we can now enjoy in downward facing dog. So since we're working on an arm balance today, make sure the shoulder blades are so fully lifted, and keep that strength in the shoulder blades as you come to a plank position. Claw the earth. Keep the inner thighs lifting. And then lower yourself halfway down to the earth. You come to Chaturanga Dandasana. And then slowly come all the way to the earth. On the in-breath, lift yourself halfway up to a baby cobra. On the exhale breath, come back to downward facing dog. Now step your right foot right between the hands from downward facing dog. And we'll do another twist. This time we're going to straighten the right leg. So from this lunge with the right foot forward, to slowly bring that right thigh back as you start to straighten the leg. Back heel can be lifted in this variation of the pose, just so that you can enjoy more twist here as you reach the right arm up toward the sky. And enjoy the breath here in this pose. And then release your hands down to the earth and step back to downward facing dog. So that we can trade sides. Take the left foot right between the hands to come to a lunge. And then slowly bring that left thigh back as you straighten the left leg. Press the right hand very firmly down and twist. Continue in the twist to take the thigh back. The knee wants to pop slightly forward, but keep on encouraging the knee to draw back, to bring the top of the thigh back. And then release the hand down and step back to downward facing dog. So stay with the fullness of the breath. One more breath here in downward facing dog. And then step the right foot right between the hands and come to a twist in your lunge again. So keep the back heel up and keep the right knee, this time in a bent leg position. And see about taking your left hand to the outside of the right ankle to come to a twist. With the left hand pressing down, draw your right knee just a little bit closer toward the front edge of the mat. If you'd like to, you can take your right hand up. Yogi's choice here, and then release your hand down to trade sides from downward facing dog. Take the left foot forward and stay in lunge with the back leg so strong. And then see about reaching your right hand to the outside of the left ankle. And from there, with the left thigh descending toward the earth, lift your right ribs up. Keep the back leg strong. And then reach the left arm up. And then release and come back to downward facing dog. Now walk, step, or jump your feet up to the front of the mat and come to a squat position again. So this time in the squat position, take the inner big toes together so the feet are together. Last time we practiced with the feet slightly apart. Have the heels lifted. And then place the hands slightly wider apart than shoulders. And claw the earth with the hands. we've been working on this strength and stability in the poses. So see about just bending the elbows and bringing your heart slightly closer to the earth. Keep on encouraging the heart to move forward so that your shin bones are now pressing against the upper arms. Squeeze the knees in toward the midline, and you can just take one foot off the earth, and then take that foot down, and take the other foot off the earth, and then take that foot down. Maybe you can even take both feet off the earth to come to this wonderful arm balance, bakasana. So keep that lift of the back body. Keep your gaze slightly forward. And then as you're ready, you can release the feet down to the earth. And enjoy your breath here. With the breath, just kind of helping you to bring your awareness back to that thoracic spine, the length of the thoracic spine. Then in your squat position, with your gaze slightly forward, just take your knees over to the right side. So both knees are on the outside of your right arm. Claw the earth with the hands more than shoulder width apart. And then bow forward. Have the heart draw toward the earth and slowly lift your toes. Like I said before, in bakasana, you can lift one foot and then just keep the other down. Or if you can lift both feet to come to this side twist here, this side version of bakasana, this parvrtta bakasana. And then release back. And then come back to squat and go to the other side. So take the knees to the outside of the arms. Take the hands in this chaturanga dandasana position or this plank position. Bend the elbows. Let the heart descend toward the earth. Come to tiptoes. And then hug the knees in toward each other. Lift the back body so strong, so powerfully as you soften the heart toward the earth. And come to the fullness of your pose here. Very nice, very nice. And come to a seated position. And let's just take a slight break here from all the arm balance work that we did. Take both legs forward to come to dandasana. With the backs of the thighs planted, press your fingertip tops right by the pelvis. Take the heads of the arm bones back. Close the eyes and just come to a sense of that power within. When we take on new poses, when we take on new things in our practice, it kind of brings a sense of wonderment, the details of the pose. You start to reveal as you go through the actions. And the more you break it up, the more power that gives you, because you have such a great understanding of each of the actions. So let's work on the hips just a little bit more so that we can have a little bit more understanding of how to open these more fully. So bend the right knee and then hug it in, and then lift the right foot up off the floor. Take the right thigh way back, and as you're ready, you can take the right hand to the inside of the right knee, almost like you're trying to carry the right thigh on the upper right arm. So press the right hand firmly down, press the left hand firmly down, and just keep that very active, that right foot very active, the left leg very active. Very nice. And release the right foot down. Try that On the other side, now bend the left leg, hug it in toward the ribs, and then with the left leg so strong, lift the left foot up. Just draw the top of the thigh back. Sometimes I like to press my hands against the top of the foot, the base of the big toe, so that I can really get more opening. And then thread the left hand just to the inside of the knee and to the floor. Take the right hand down, but keep that strong action of the hips. Keep the strong action of the toes. Draw in from the toes to the pelvis. Very nice. And then release that foot down. Good. So now let's work on the full pose, Astavakrasana. So do the same thing we were just doing. So from Dandasana, with both feet forward, bend the right knee, hug the right thigh back, and then take the right hand down to the earth. Now, with both hands on the earth, at least shoulder width apart, just bow forward in that pose that we were working on before, and inch your left foot just so that it crosses the right ankle. Bow way forward, just like we were working on in Chaturanga Dandasana. Squeeze the inner knees toward each other. Keep the heart very soft and very low. And then with the knees squeezing in toward each other, the ankles so tightly wrapped, hug the right arm so fully to come to the full form of the pose. Very nice. Now come back to Dandasana with the feet forward, the thighs pressing back, the fingertips pressing down, the breath helping you to elongate the side body. Just take a moment here before we go to the other side, a moment for the breath, a moment for you to come back to that sense of power within. And as you're ready, bend the left knee. Hug the left side in, and then same action we were doing earlier. Lift the foot up, take the left arm under. Get power in both arms now by pressing them down to the earth. And now you can let the left heel slightly drift toward the earth so that the right ankle can cross over it. And in this kind of cross-legged pose, you're going to hug the inner knees in toward each other, bend the elbows. So if you can't lift the buttocks off the earth, just do the actions in the form of the pose. Hug the inner knees in toward each other, keep the ankles firmly hugging in toward each other, firmly in their grasp, or their clasp, and then bending the elbows, draw the heart toward the earth. And if you can lift the hip just slightly to lift the toes up off the earth, keep the head to the arm bones lifting. The heart can soften even more with hands clawing the earth. Well done. And then slowly and full of grace, just release your pelvis back to the earth. And enjoy the afterglow of the pose. Lie down on your back now. When we do these poses, it's just such a grand feeling of accomplishment. So lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet firmly planted, enjoy that sense of accomplishment, that sense of strength. So even if the pelvis wouldn't lift off the earth, or one side you felt like you were able to grasp it fully, the other side did not cooperate as well. It's just the fact that you made the effort, you showed up on your mat today, you're working on the practice, you're working on another pose in yoga. This brings you to a place of strength. So during this practice, we did a couple of malasanas, a couple squat poses. So do an upside down squat pose, happy baby pose. Bend both knees, or if you'd rather, just one at a time. But the full pose is with both knees bent, the hands to the feet. The thighs are moving parallel to the earth. The knees are to the outside of your ribs. And some people just like to rock side to side, just to massage the back body. So as you're ready, you can slowly move the legs so that they feel rooted on the earth. The legs very heavy, the arms heavy. Bring the tops of the arms back, the shoulder blades hug in. The heart lifts very fully. Through the breath, you once again find that source of strength that resides within. Taking your practice to another level just allows us to come to that place of strength. So reside very fully in that place of strength and let yourself completely surrender to the earth. Keep the breath soft. Have the eyelids soft. Invite your breath in and out very fully. And as you're ready, you can begin to move by bending the knees again. Roll over to the right side with the right arm extended, the head resting on the extended right arm. And as you're ready, press the hands into the earth to rise up. Close the eyes and just cross the legs or come to a seated pose that serves you well. Come back to the source of strength by strengthening the breath. And the breath, very full, very bright. Take the hands in front of the heart. Sometimes we lose this sense of strength. But as we come to the practice, and just attune within, bring our awareness to each action, we see that we strengthen our practice. And through the strengthening of the practice, we begin to reveal that power that always resides within us. So this afterglow of the practice makes you strong, makes you realize that inner strength. May you always see that inner strength in your everyday activities. Namaste.